Good morning, Bernard. How are you today?
Good morning, Dr. Priscilla. Today the weather is good and I'm in good condition.
Fantastic. We're going to read this article from Breaking News English today. After we've read this article, I'm going to try something different in terms of the discussion to see how well we can interact with this article. So if you would, could you read the article, New Plants Can Produce Light in the Dark? You may start to read.
Yes, but I can't see your screen. I see only your Skype screen.
Okay, let me share my screen. So
New plants can.
this article is from News and Levels, and it's New Plants Can Produce Light in the Dark. You may start to read now.
Okay. New plants can produce light in the dark. The 18th of December 2017. Scientists have created plants that glow in the dark. They're hoping to produce plants that can light up our lives. The scientists are from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the USA. They hope their discovery could lead to plant lights replacing electricity lights. Electric lights. One day, even light that trees produce could replace street lights. Professor Michael Strano, lead author of the research, explained that his team wants to create sustainable light sources and help the environment. He said, the vision is to make a plant that will function as a desk lamp, a lamp that you don't have to plug in. The light is ultimately powered by the energy metabolism of the plant itself. The researchers got the idea of their lighting plants from fireflies. They looked at the substance in the fireflies that makes them glow. They created nanoparticles that contain the substance. They then put the nanoparticles into plant leaves to make them glow. The scientists were able to make plants that glow for nearly 4 hours. The research team has tested the substance on salad leaves, including spinach and watercress.
Leaves, spinach.
Leaves, spinach.
Mm-hmm.
Professor Strano said, our target is to perform one treatment when the plant is a seedling or a mature plant and have it last for the lifetime of the plant. He thinks plants' light will be a part of our life in the future. He said, we think this is an idea whose time has come.
Okay, very good. Did you understand the article?
Yes, I nearly understand everything, unless the last phrase. Our target is to perform one treatment when the plant is a seedling or mature plant.
Okay.
What is it, a seedling?
A seedling is a baby, very, very immature. When we put seedlings in the ground, the seedling will grow up into maybe a tree or corn or a flower. It's just a seed. It's the baby.
Okay. Okay.
Now, I'd like you to tell me about this article and focus on these vocabulary words here.
Mm-hmm.
And try to use as many of these words without looking at the article. Just look at these vocabulary words and tell me what this article is about.
This article is about a new invention created by a scientist who discovers that he could replace the artificial light of electricity by a new vision that could come from the plants, the natural plants. he thinks that ultimately he will create a substance that could glow in the night, and actually he tested it in a laboratory
Mm-hmm.
with some mature plants, but of course this invention could take a lot of time.
Okay, very good. You used all of the vocabulary words, and here we have an idiom. We think this is an idea whose time has come. What do you think he is saying, the author is saying here? We think this is an idea whose time has come.
We think this is an idea whose time has come. Uh, I suppose that the man who said that think that today, with the new technology of nanoparticles, he could
Mm-hmm.
create a new way of creating lights. And he thinks that the time is just arrived now,
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
thanks to the new technology.
Very good. So the time is now. I think the technology that we have today makes it the right time to do many things, such as teaching conversational English online. The time has come for that. Here we're going to try to use as many of these vocabulary words as we can as we look at discussion questions for student A. I'm going to ask you to talk about A through H in a manner such as this. Since this is the first time that we will have done this, it may be a little bit of a challenge, but I think that you will do it. Instead of answering the questions, we're going to use these questions as prompts while focusing on building our vocabulary using all of these words here, or as many of them as we can. And it will sound something like this. My favorite plants are roses and dandelions. I think plants are very useful, and I find that from the article that if we can use plants as electric lights, that would make a big difference in our lives. I think that plants could be very dangerous if they just light up at night or they remain on all the time. This, in fact, would create problems, especially in the streets or along the highways for animals that only come out at night. The scientists are looking for ways to have plants light up the night. This type of research is good, but it's also bad for the environment. For example, if animals that predominantly use the night life to survive, I'm not necessarily sure that they would be able to mature as they should and help with the environment. Plants that will light up at night could help the environment by allowing people to work at night without the use of electricity. And we could use things that glowed instead of electricity. As far as having a plant on my desk instead of a lamp, I think that would be fantastic. I like that futuristic idea and would love to have one item on my desk instead of two. I'm not exactly sure how we would turn lights on and off if it's a plant, but that's something that we could work on in the future. Okay, I'm thinking as I'm speaking, and that's my goal, is to get you to think and speak, and this is when you will know that you've got fluency. It doesn't have to make 100%
Okay.
meaning.
Okay.
The meaning doesn't have to be 100% correct, but the
Oh,
goal is to speak. Okay?
thanks to your recording, I'll be able to listen you several times because
All
it's difficult. But
right.
I try.
All right.
My favorite plant is like yours, roses and roses and dandelion. I don't know. How useful, but scientists have an idea to create plants, even my favorite plants, in order to light up the streets and to change the environment at night. The plants are usually used in the garden, like a spinach, for eating, but the scientists think that plants could do other things in the future because plants could create energy with their leaves. The streets could be lit up by trees in the night, and the idea is to use the nanoparticles that scientists found in the fireflies and that they could import in leaves in the future. Our life could be very changed with this, with the failure of electric lights. For example, oh yes, unfortunately, it won't be so easy for us to turn on or turn off the lights on plants. It's impossible. It will be a natural process that a natural process will works like a magic haze when the invention will be mature. The glowing light could arrive by itself when the night fall and could finish when the sun rise. Oh. No, electric lights. Perhaps the substance of the electric lights in the leaves could be the nanoparticles that were found in fireflies, and the target is to arrive at a result before the end of this century. Oh, difficult. I try. How much could these plants help the environment? These plants could help the environment because they won't need to dig their streets to put wires, and there won't be need of electricity, nuclear powers, electrical powers to create electricity because the nature will help the environment. Would you like the light plant on your desk? Of course, it will be a good Christmas present.
Okay, very nicely done, Bernard. You used all of the words, I believe, and you did exactly what I wanted you to do with the discussion. I want you to force yourself to make some type of communication out of the questions without actually answering the questions. All right, well, this takes us to the end of our session. Do you have a specific question that you'd like to ask me today?
No, it was perfect. It was a good exercise. Thanks to you, I improve my English every day. And
Yes.
perhaps tomorrow, if you're free.
Okay, that sounds great.